Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nathie's live stream, Nathie's room. Right now, we're working on an arcade. We actually moved the arcade to a more brighter room because we had some issues with the darkness of the other room. So it's a lot more brighter in here, and it's good for streaming. Right now, Mr. Bird is in here working with me. Hello, Mr. Bird. We're just tidying up things here, and hopefully we'll have it out by the beginning of next week. But yeah, it's coming along pretty far. I can show you what's up. It's just a really cool, awesome arcade. We got some awesome arcade machines working. We got the awesome Dance Revolution working as well. At the moment you can see the circuits, but you won't be able to see the circuits later. So, we got this other awesome machine working as well. We have an awesome basketball machine working. We'll have these working, and some of the lights and stuff will be shining and highlighted on some of the arcade machines, and then we'll also have this working as well. Alright, meanwhile, I'll be focusing mostly on this part of the room. You guys are free to ask me any questions you like. We did have some shifting maker pen objects on some of these things, so basically we have to fix some of this stuff. So I'll just move that just like so and bring these out. That's what happens when we save a lot, is that things start to shift and we just need to pull them out just a little bit. So if you guys have any questions about like on your rooms, this will be a great time for you to ask them, especially on maker pen tools and problems that you have ran into, problems I have run into, problems you probably will see me running into as well. So it'll be just a great to go over those type of things. Alright, I'm just going to press down on those. Freeze. Oh, alright, I'm going to check my comments real quick. Welcome, Nathie, to the channel. Oh, hey, Atlas, what's up? Yeah, so Atlas is one of our team members on this as well. Oh, yeah, how to add an invention to a costume. So that is kind of an issue. It depends on what kind of rights the owner of the invention put on it, because if it's only release only, then you won't be able to touch the invention at all. But what you can do is you go to props, dynamic, grab your costume dummy here, place it down, and if the objects are off the dummy, which we're just gonna go over real quick, settings, uniform shapes, usually I just draw the hat because it's just super easy, and I know I've done it a lot, and a lot of people probably seen this concept done before, which is fine. I'm just going to clone this object, manipulate it down. I'm going to scale this up just so slightly and put it back on grid system and move it back to, put on flying again. Move it back to its original position. And then right now I'm going to select both and then move it back onto the dummy. Now, this is not being edited on the dummy at all. This is off the dummy right now. So what I can do is press done. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm going to deselect that and fix that hat just a little bit. Probably going to make it a little bit smaller. Take it off scale. And maybe we'll just make this a little bit cuter. So we'll just, put it to the side. And then we'll just press done. Done editing. So we have the hat here and we have the dummy here. So as you can see when we'll just need to freeze the dummy. for a second. We'll just freeze that dummy. Freeze. Select and move this onto that hat. Okay. So now that that is kind of placed on the dummy, what we want to do is we want to select the hat and select the dummy. Oh, the dummy's frozen. Great. But if we unfreeze the dummy, then the dummy will pop out and will fly everywhere because the hat is set to environmental. We just want to make it decorational. So we make it decorational. We unfreeze the dummy so the dummy won't pop out of place. We can select the hat and the dummy, and we see these 3 little dots that pop up. Just click on the dots and it says merge shapes. When you select merge shapes, you can apply it to the head, torso, right hand, or left hand. But we're going to place it to the head. So now it's merged to the head. Hopefully. Go ahead and quit. Yep. Let me just put on my streaming cam real quick. Let's see here. On mixer face. Alright, so you can see that it's on my head now, right? So that's really easy to do. Just select both shapes, select on the dots, and then merge them together. So that's how you can put items on the dummy. You can't necessarily put all invention items on the dummy because those inventions have rights and rules to them, and those are set by the inventor. So sadly that is, but that's just the way it is. So this is how you can do it. So if the inventor decided that you can publish that item however you wish, you can edit the different parts and put them on the dummy. So that's how you make your costume. Alright, I'm going to take it off. Alright, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to go ahead and delete this because this is taking up space in the room. And if anybody doesn't understand space in a room, you can go ahead and open up your maker pen here, go to your open palette, and in your open palette you have your ink limit here. So right now we're at 88.12%. We have a lot in here. And we also have a lot of circuits too. So we have all these circuits down here. Yep, they're all set in this floor. Yep, there we are. Look at all the circuits. Yeah, to make Dance Revolution work. Trunks worked on Dance Revolution, so he did a great job to make that work. It's pretty awesome. It's gonna have some pretty cool effects here. Yeah, I'm failing a lot, so I'm not going to do that right now. But it actually works, so it's pretty cool. Up here will be the bar area. This is the main area. We have the carpet. We're going to add more shapes to the carpet. And then we have this awesome little green screen here with, a costume dummy that you can equip. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then right here we have where you can shoot birds. It's just a arcade machine where you can shoot birds, of course. And then we have the main VIP area, which is Mr. Bird's working on at the moment. And yeah, so it's coming along, you guys. It's coming along. It's all about games and arcade and making cool stuff. And we'll probably put a couch in a little hangout area here. We're only at 88%, so we're not that far in. We do have to add some more circuits, which we will, and we can do a lot more merging, which allows you to save a lot of space. Right now, the best way to save space, if you guys didn't know, like right now I'm in this object right now, and they're all merged together. All of these are merged together, and that's a really good way of saving space. And what we can do is we can probably merge these with these and make them decorational so that it'll take up less space. Alright, done editing. So the way you can make things decorational, environmental, is by clicking on it. So decorational will allow players to go through objects, but they also take up less space. Environmental will allow, you can't go through those objects, but they're just pretty much just physical, but you can like pick them up and stuff if you don't have them frozen. Physical will allow objects to will have objects fall to the floor, and you can pick them up, throw them around, and they'll actually throw and move just like a basketball would. Sticky allows objects to actually stick to your body so that you can actually have things, you know, on your body like a costume and stick to objects and so forth. So it's pretty good. Alright, those are the neat little tricks of saving space in your room. Is you want to merge things as much as possible, make them decorational if you can, and that will save you a lot of space in your room so you can build bigger maps. That's what we did in Harry Man Leg's room. We made a lot of optimization in that room so that we could fit a lot of stuff in that, and it looks really high detailed, but it's actually quite simple. And using certain types of shapes will allow you to save more space. So like if I used go to shapes and colors, if I used a cube, if I used 40 shapes of this cube, that would only take up 1%. Like it's about 40. 8 wedges will take about 1%. Pyramid will take out so much percent, and you can see what that percentage is here. Spheres, for some reason, at the moment only takes up less space, which is kind of phenomenal at the moment. But yeah, so your tubes will take up a lot of space. There's a lot. I actually want to go over tubes right now because there's a lot of really cool things with tubes you can do. I'm going to go ahead and select a tube, and I'm going to go into settings, and you see, I don't want uniform shapes. Actually, I do want uniform shapes. Uniform shapes will allow the tube to actually stay very, very straight. And right now we're at a square on the tube, so we can change that by going to tube ring points. So now I have trapezoid, and the shape just turns and turns, as you can see. So now I have that one. Go with that. So if I did this, and since I have it connected to tubes, I can do this. And it like really draws out a nice shape. But I'm gonna connect the tube. So now I'm starting a new tube, but it's actually going to connect to it. You can see how it's sticking there because I have it connected to tube. And then I could actually just, as I'm pressing my trigger, I can actually control the size. So I can make some pretty good, awesome diamonds. All right, hold on. Wait. It takes some time to get used to, but... There you go. And then what you could do is you can go to manipulation here, and you could actually touch the points. So you can actually move these around to make whatever shape you want. So you can actually make some really cool stuff here. If you guys didn't actually experiment with this yet, I would recommend doing so because this is actually pretty phenomenal what you can do here, especially in Rec Room. So like, I wonder if we can like turn around. Yeah. So if I did a straight, let's go to create, settings, back to tubes, and we did like a square, for example. Make a complete square like that, and we went back to points. You can actually, let's see. Oh yeah. Create a different one. Connect shapes. Alright, so we have 2 points there. If I take this, I can turn it, and as you can see, it's creating kind of a weird looking thing. So like a lot of people have made some pretty interesting architecture using this. So it's got this like kind of like a twisting effect. So I brought this down. Can actually make it pretty much twisting. Hold on. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Just like so. So you can get these like really nice curves going up, and they can actually you can actually add more maker pen objects to it, and it can go up and make it like a really nice curve. Some people have been experimenting with that. So if you guys haven't actually experimented with that, I would recommend doing so. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all these objects now. And press done, actually, and this will be there. Alright, I'm going to take a look at my comments right now. Oh, so we just got a question about, like, how do we make things glowing like this? Okay, so it is a trick in Rec Room, but we will have glowing objects in the future, but I can show you how to do that right now. So what we did was this shape here, if I created a shape, so I can create a line, so I'm just going to create a line real quick. I'm going to use the cube. I'm going to color this blue, recolor. And you can only do this in the paintball maps and Jumbotron maps, not Jumbotron, but laser tag maps, to create these type of colors. You can't do this in the regular maker pen room because it's just not going to work out that way. They don't have the light fields that we're looking for. So what we're doing is we're going to anchor light fields within the map. So I'm going to go ahead and place this right here on the wall. And you can see that it's not glowing, right? So now that I have this shape, so I'm going to create another shape. So this shape here is going to be my anchor shape to this one. I actually know where this light field is, so I'm going to go there now. So I'm not going to search for like an hour for this light field. I actually know where this is. So I'm going to go outside this map over here. And it's stuck in the corner here. Let's see. Let's try to get it a little better. Okay, we want it to be a little more lighter than that. Much better. Where can we find that light source? Takes a little bit. It's not always perfect. It's just, oh. Okay. Not getting that light source quite yet. Alright, so there's another form of light source. Where are you? It's over here. It does take some time to look for them, but you can find them. And I know there's one in the rock somewhere too. Say it's like in the rock. It's like in this, I think it's down here. Oh, where are you? I know I have maker pen objects somewhere. Oh, that's a red one. Yeah, so this is a really good spot for a red one, I believe. So that's where we got our really nice glowing red. But I'm having a hard time finding that spot again. But I think it's in here somewhere. Alright, come on. Let me get in here. As glowing as it should be glowing. I'm gonna go check it out real quick. Oh, it is a little bit, yeah. We do have a lighter one. This one's actually shade lighter, but this one is now actually glowing compared to how it was. So that's what you do, is you look for a light field, but what you want to do first is draw out your shapes first, then draw out another shape and anchor it. Now, to keep it anchored, what you want to do is just continuously clone the object. You don't want to draw out a new object because you're creating a new anchor for a new light field. It's kind of interesting concept. But that's what I do. Is like I just continue to clone the same tool and I just manipulate it however I want to get what I need. So that's how you guys do it. Alright. If anybody, I'm going to go ahead and press done there and delete. Go ahead and check the comments. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming to the Maker Pen, actually. It's going to be pretty legit, you guys. I can't wait to get... Oh, wait. I did undelete that. And I want to go back and delete that. Go ahead and delete that. I'm going to go ahead and edit this object. I have to go ahead and unfreeze the object first because I had it frozen. Go back into editing and I can touch the individual layers here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fix some of the areas here, bringing them in so it looks a little more consistent. Yeah, if you guys haven't actually used the Maker Pen for about a year, which is kind of sad, I would recommend giving it a shot because there's a lot more stuff you can do with the Maker Pen now, especially within it, like especially if you haven't used it in a year. Also, there will be more things being added to the Maker Pen, especially within the next year or so. It's going to be pretty legit if you guys haven't actually tried that. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so I made these tables in the last room, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy these tables, and I'm actually gonna make this shape glow. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so I've edited that shape so I can clone the shape, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna anchor this shape, and I know it's red, so I'm gonna anchor the shape, and I want it to glow red, like bright red. So I'm going to find that spot that I was in beforehand. I'm looking for a nice, good spot. Like me. It's getting pretty bright there. Okay. Yep, just looking for that. Wait, is that a red spot? Oh, that is a red spot. So that's a good red spot too. Okay. No, oh, and then we found a really nice black spot here. That's really nice. So it gives the object a lot more kick to the black, so it doesn't look so gray. There we go. There's another one. Okay. And it's not getting the same. There we go. Alright, so you know how the Maker Pen object was kind of like a really dark red, but now it's like lighting up in here, so that's looking pretty good. So there we go, you guys. That's how you guys do it. I'm gonna go ahead and check my comments. Well, hello, Werewolf. How are you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of quests right now. If you guys go ahead and check out the fantasy rooms, there are so many quests that you can actually go through at the moment. if you guys haven't taken a look, I definitely would recommend doing that. There are some really, really epic rooms. I'm definitely going to be going over a lot of those rooms within the next week or so. So it's going to be pretty epic. You guys should definitely check out all the quest rooms that were released for the fantasy contest, and the PvP rooms as well. Anything that represents the quests are mostly in story, so you can just check out all those. All the different categories have really good stuff going on, and I would definitely recommend you guys take a look at those. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and clone these now. Now I got my tables. And the reason why the this is actually separate is because I wanted this object to glow. I didn't want all the objects to glow, I just wanted this object to glow. So I'll edit this shape and then clone it and put them on top of the tables so the tables will glow as well. Now if I wanted these tables to glow, I can actually probably will make them blue at some point, and then make them glow. But yeah, they look pretty good right now, so I probably just might leave them too. So and give enough room so people can sit on the stools and drink their drinks. Guys. Now I'm going to replace this top balcony here and put more cylinder effects because we want them to look more metal. I made these seats to look more metal by adding a nice stroke. It's a white line that kind of gives a form of reflection on the metal piece. It's not actually giving reflection, but if you create these little lines, that you can actually get them to look like they're metal at least. So, one day we'll have real textures in Rec Room. Alright, I'm going to take a look at my comments. Haha, you live in Minnesota? I do. I live in Minnesota as well. At the moment I do. Yeah. Cool. Pretty much in Minneapolis. Where there's so much snow. We got 8 inches of snow, you guys. Actually, it could have been 10. It could have been 10 inches of snow from the last. I haven't checked. But we are actually going to get more snow today. So we're going to get another 3 inches of snow today. And then, I think we're going to get more inches of snow tomorrow. Oh, you finished the quest? If you guys have any rooms you guys want me to check out, please post them in the chat. I'll go take a look. Probably later tonight. And I'll take a pretty good look at those rooms. I like to take a look at all the rooms that people are working on. And I'll probably post pictures of them in my feed. So go up here. It's getting a little crowded, so I'm probably not going to add any more tables. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these around here. Go ahead and move this. So it just, it doesn't look that repetitive. We don't want things to look completely repetitive and copy and paste. So we want to give them a little more character than the same kind of pattern chair. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to select these objects here, and then I'm just going to place them in different positions so that they don't look like it's just copy paste. So it's just adding a little more character to the room. Oops. Undo move shape. And go ahead and select that. Go ahead and probably do the same here actually. So I'll probably select this one, go ahead and done editing, go into edit the shape. So now I can touch these individual layers. Now these are different objects here, and then what I'll do once I have it all set, I'll select them and then I'll merge them all together. And I'm going to leave the chairs environmental, but the bottom of the tables here will be decorational, so that you can go right through the bottom and it'll save more space. But the top part will be environmental, so that people can like stand on them and like put their drinks on them and so forth. So a little more nice interaction there, give a better experience. Go ahead and select these objects here. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press done, move this table in between these two chairs. Yep. Pretty good. Pretty good. And then move this up just so slightly. Actually, I'm going to move that down. Alright, great. Okay, so now that I have that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press, okay, I did press done editing. I want to get into here, so I want to go ahead and edit. Oh, okay. Hold on. Just wait a second. Messages, chats. Okay. See you later, Mr. Bird. Thank you for helping out. See ya. Alright. I'm just going to place this here. And I wasn't using Snap because I wasn't getting what I wanted. You can see that this is kind of wonky, and I think it's because the table might not be set. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on Snap. I'm wondering if that's it. No. That's not part of the group there. Go ahead and undo move shape, go back into edit. Let's see what the deal is here. Might be experiencing a bug here, so I'm just gonna go off Snap just for a second. And I know a lot of people are not into going off Snap, but it's okay for me. Alright. Looking pretty good. Alright. Go ahead and clone this. Back on Snap. Yeah, I can see it's kind of like wonky. I'm noticing that with Invention, so I'm thinking that has something to do with Inventions. So I'm gonna go ahead and off Snap. Sorry guys. Alright. So how am I doing this without Snap? Is that I'm looking at these corners here, and I'm trying to line it up with the corners as well. Oops, tracking. Alright. Okay, hold on. Alright, so I'm trying to line it up with the corners as well, and then give enough distance between the two objects. So I'm trying to hide the two distance between the objects. As long as I can line it up with the corner, give enough distance, and then be able to look it up from above, I can see that it is centered and flushed with the table. Go ahead and do that. So that's what I'm doing right now. So gonna line it up with the corners here. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah. Alright, so done. Freeze. Voila. Now, after I save, and I come back to the room, I'm pretty sure like Snap will be back on. So I'll come back and fix these on Snap. And it's just because I've been in the room for a while. It's probably like bugging out at the moment. So I'm gonna check my okay. Alright, no spamming, please. No spamming the chat. Alright. Okay, so if the bug is actually happening to you, which it does sometimes, I think it has to do with like when you spawn an invention in and then you clone the invention. And if you've been in the room for a while, this is kind of like the pattern I've noticed. So until we can like determine what is the issue, we can fix the bug. So this is my theory on the on what might be causing the bug. It's just like it's because it's an invention, so it's like might be on a different grid. And then when you clone the object, and after being in the room for a while, for whatever reason, it starts to mess up. So if you leave the room, or like leave the game, and you come back to the room, it usually doesn't seem to work the same way, so like the bug is no longer there. So it's like breaking it. So if you just like refresh, it works. But if you happen to just restore, it doesn't actually work. If you just restore, you have to actually leave the room and come back, and usually it's fixed if you run into that issue. I usually spend about it depends, because usually during the week I'm really busy, so I don't have a lot of time. I'm in here for about like 2 or 1 hour, 2 to 3 hours most of the time. But on the weekends I'm like in here for like maybe about 4 to 5 hours. So for quite a bit, because it does take some time to build things and make really decorative things. So, but that's why I have a team working with me, because it does take some time. And it's always good to work with the community as well and build things with the other creators. So I think it's a positive thing to build with other creators, because it brings the community together and they all build something together. And it's actually even more meaningful to actually build something with the community. And it really just kind of shows them appreciation, while it's showing Rec Room appreciation for our creators in Rec Room. So I think it's a really good thing to that it takes some time, because it actually has more meaning behind it in the long run. So if anybody was wondering. Alright. If you guys have any like other questions, go ahead and answer them. I don't know how many of you have actually built rooms at all. So right now I'm going to redo this top counter here. Go ahead and move my palette. And I usually put the palette above my head, because it doesn't get in the way of me building too much here. And I might make this yellow. Let's see if that works. I might change the color. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead, and you know, it's actually quite big, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and scale that down. And then move that down. And manipulate this up. And then I'm gonna scale it down a bit more, actually, because I want it a little bit more thinner than this. Go ahead and manipulate this down. Very good. And then what I'm going to do is, I want these bars to be even out, just like these ones are. So I'm going to actually create a ruler. Oops. Just gonna get a straight object here. I'm just gonna color it yellow as well. I'm stuck on uniform shapes, so that's why that went that way, which is okay. I'm just going to push this out just like so. And I want the bars to be exactly this distance. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clone this object here. And then I'm going to select this object, select and select. Actually, before I do that, yeah, actually that's good. I'm just going to select these two because I want the bars to be exactly the same. Okay. Alright. It's not lining up just perfectly there, so I wanted to touch the edge here. So I'm looking at the edge, looking at the other edges, I'm looking at how this is lining up with this, and then I'm just going to keep going on that level. So just checking that edge that I'm trying to line up with, just like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the rest of these. Yeah. Go ahead and delete the rest of these. Actually, I'm going to keep those. And then I'm going to select this. Okay, and then I'm going to clone. Just like so. I'm going to deselect, because those were all selected. And then select again. And see where this lines up here. Close, 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 close. That's okay. Alright, so now that that is lined up, go ahead and deselect. Delete those. Go ahead and move this object over. And, so, go ahead and line that perfectly well there. Move this in. And the reason why you can see like different objects here is because when you have a nice corner piece, it allows the object to have a really nice corner piece. We won't have to worry about that in the future too much, but right now we are just going to work with that for right now. Pretty soon the bubble shapes we'll have more control over those. So, but for the time being, this is how you cover them up. If you guys were wondering, good ways to cover up bubble shapes. Alright. Go ahead and bring this up just so slightly. Alright, I'm going to manipulate this out. Alright. Okay, so now that I have that, I know that this is a little bit different, I can extend this floor a little bit out. I just want this to be really even here, pretty solid, so it looks pretty nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these shapes, make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to create a really nice cylinder effect here. I'm going to check my messages real quick. Alright, wait, I might just mute you just a little bit. What do you need help with, Texan? Tokens will be you can be able to buy on PSVR as soon as Sony allows us to. So that could happen within the next week or so. Whenever Sony decides, so you can go like, I'll yell at them if you want. Do I have a favorite thing that I like to build in Rec Room? I think my favorite thing so far that I like to build is I just get as the tools become better and better, it's hard to say that like my past maps were the coolest maps because obviously they're not anymore. But the main things that I love to build are like quests and quests that kind of like drives different experiences for people, so they can go ahead and enjoy a really nice story, or they can enjoy something that like intrigues them that they don't usually experience in reality. So those are the kind of things that I like to build. Things that people want to experience but they can't in the real world, basically. Yeah. Do you have a manual build over walls? Yeah, okay, so at the moment you cannot build or manipulate actual objects such as these. Eventually, maybe so, but at the moment, not yet. Once we get to that point, we'll be able to do really cool things right with that, but I don't see that happening right now. So you would have to build around those structures to actually get what you want out of those. Take a look here. Yeah, you can have help on the escape map. If you take a look at Griblet's rooms, those are the best escape maps. You can also look at Redbeard's too. They're pretty good as well. Those are really good ones to look at. Also, if you can also use the escape room kit. It is in, let's say, go to your watch here, and go to create, and go to base rooms. We have the escape room kit, so it has like a lot of circuits and little interesting things that you can use, cards to open doors and so forth in that room there. So if you actually clone that room, you can actually make your own escape room using those tools. So that's a good start to creating your own escape room if you haven't already. Thinking that this is, yeah. Yeah. So what kind of escape room would you like to create exactly? Right now I am building a NathieArcade, and what we're doing here is we are building something that he really enjoys, which is an arcade. And honestly, I love arcades too, so that works. And it's going to create an experience where you can actually play actual arcade games in this room and be able to hang out with your friends and experience games while literally being in an arcade room that actually has working machines. Not all of them will be working, but we do have some that are working, and we will have more that are working, so you can actually just play. Especially Dance Revolution. This is just you got the moves. This is great. So you'll like just go over and hover over the ones that you can see. Obviously I'm failing right now, but that's going to be a really fun one. And we're going to change the sound effects on that so it just sounds a little more appealing there. But it's going to be really cool to see what people do with that machine, because it's pretty hyped. I have to really thank Trunks for putting such hard work into that. Alright, just give me a second here, guys. I don't know what happened. Alright. Something got frozen, so. Alright, just checking out my... Alright guys, please stop. Okay. You're making a Western quest. If you are making a Western quest, what you can do is you can use the Western template if you like. You don't have to. There's a lot of inventions. Like, if you guys haven't checked out the Invention stores, it's pretty legit. Let's see. If you go to your watch here, and then you go to your the store, go 5-star clothing. You see Inventions right here. Go ahead and select Inventions, and you can find all these types of inventions. You can find circuit inventions, like even like to open doors or to just get in the house for anything. That's funny. This is actually a template, so you can actually go ahead and get the template if you want. But someone actually put it up there, which is actually kind of more convenient. And then you can go through the different. Ooh, someone actually built a umbrella plant. Interesting. And then, oh yeah, the cat. This one's a big one right here. If you ever had this one, it's actually in my mansion it's not a template, but in my mansion room. Noct actually built this this cat, and a lot of people like this cat, so now they're all getting it. It's pretty funny. But yes, you can get the hairy man legs doll as well. It's pretty legit. Like, you can find anything on this store, you guys. It's pretty awesome what you can get on here. So, if you guys want to go ahead and get those, you can. They all have different permissions. So, here are the different permissions. You can edit. Let's see what this one is. Can republish. So, can republish means that you can actually use it for anything and take it apart and put it together and like put it back up on the market. Can edit means that you can't put it back on the market, but you can edit within the individual items. Let's see. And then this is like if it's cost low link or high link. The higher inks are going to be a lot more detail. So like this tree here is going to be very detailed. So you want to be careful about like using high detailed objects in your room, because they're going to take up a lot of space. So those are the type of things that you guys can look at right there. Pretty legit, pretty cool. You guys haven't actually checked that out. You also right now could buy tokens. If you guys didn't know that you could buy tokens, you can do a starter kit for $4.99. You can actually buy 5,000 tokens. So if you guys haven't done that, if you want to buy anything in the store, you can just go to tokens and buy tokens if you want to. If you don't want to, then that's also cool too. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at my chat. Oh yeah, how do you make yourself a giant? That's a good one to go over because that's actually kind of new. What you want to do is you want to pull up your maker pen right like this, and then go to Open Palette, and you want to go to the settings. And then you want to go to the next page in settings, and it says Enable Self-Scaling. So, enable self-scaling. Yeah, okay. So you want to go ahead and select that. Make sure that's selected. And for Vive, you want to squeeze your controllers in and out. And for, I think it is on Oculus is when you press down on the trigger buttons. I think that's how you do it. And on PSVR, I think you have to press square and triangle at the same time, and then you do this motion. So you want to like bring yourself. Right now, I'm making myself super small, so this map looks really, really big. And then I'm gonna make myself super big right now. Yeah, so I'm like really, really big right now, guys. So you can see like everything's really small, and I can get in here and I can edit things on this map and like get into like the funny, the gritty details, and I can make myself smaller to get into like making sure things are more aligned together and so forth. That's how you do that. If I'm wrong about the Oculus, go ahead. I hope someone can just like make sure that they know. I'm pretty sure someone actually knows how to make yourself self-scaling on Oculus, and I think it's pushing down the trigger zones, but not trigger zones, but the triggers on the controllers. Okay. As soon as Sony allows us to. If you guys want some news on Sony, like we're just waiting on them to get you guys to have tokens. So hopefully soon. And I mean like hopefully real soon. So yeah, and to actually get yourself to make sure that you're self-scaling, you want to make sure you're holding your maker pen. It will not happen if you're not holding your maker pen. You have to hold your maker pen to scale yourself down and to scale yourself up. So that's how you guys do it. So I'm gonna go ahead, and if you want to go drop yourself down to your current position, you can just drop your maker pen, and then you're back to normal. As you can see on self-scaling. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I love doing it. Especially if you're like building like a dollhouse, it's great. Because then you can build a dollhouse, and it's actually proportionally pretty good with the with players, so you can actually make it work. And go ahead and check my comments real quick. Ooh, someone needs some fire monsters. That's pretty good. Hey, hi, Mr. Bird. Yeah, Mr. Bird just popped in. If you guys need like fire monsters or anything, I guess I can start like building stuff for fire monsters and monsters for people to use in their quests in their rooms. I know that there's some available in the store if you guys haven't taken a look. And there will be more added to the store, pretty sure, within next... I'm running out of space here. Go ahead and select all these objects here. There will be more added to the store probably soon, because I know that every update, a lot of people just do like really cool stuff, and we are having an update coming soon. And once the update comes, I'm sure there will be like more stuff added to the store. So if you guys wanted to, you guys can go ahead and just search up monsters in the store, and I'm pretty sure that they would pop up. Move this down, just like so. Here. Alright, so I think I got that, and I kind of got my rems, so it's looking pretty good here. I'll add another rem here just to give it some direction, give people a little bit more direction to come up the stairs, and use this dining area up here. We'll have like little lights glowing and a pattern on this wall with kind of like a flash, some flashing lights, so it kind of gives it more like this kind of hype atmosphere that's going on in the room. So I'm thinking about like how people are going to experience this atmosphere as well when I'm creating this room. So you definitely, when you want to create like social environments, if you guys haven't looked at some social environments, if you guys can look at some of the featured rooms that right now, they're really good social environments. If you guys want like to create a really nice club hangout or a room that your friends and yourself can just enjoy, those are some good ones to look at right now. Go ahead and take a look at my comments. Okay. Yeah, just give me a second, guys. Alright. Okay. So we're just going to get back into this. Alright, just had to... Alright, yeah, thank you. Definitely, I really do enjoy building in Rec Room. And the reason why I actually enjoy building in Rec Room is because there's a really big social atmosphere in Rec Room, and you can invite your friends to a space that you built for them and yourself and experience, it's just really fun to actually experience something that kind of layer with your friends, because you don't usually get to build things in the real world. It's really expensive to build things in the real world, so it kind of just gives you those unlimited tools, whereas beforehand you would have to go through all these, you have to go buy wood planks and all that. You don't have to do that in Rec Room. So you can just build whatever you want and experience it with your friends. So that is why I like to build in Rec Room. And I have quite a bit of imagination, so like I like to share that with my friends. And I can do that here in Rec Room. Yes, it does. Yes. I might end the stream soon, you guys. So just so you guys know, like if you guys have any questions, just let me know, and then I can probably figure something out, and hopefully I can answer your questions. Probably can, but like, are you guys like struggling with anything on a building aspect at all? What one game that I would like to see in Rec Room? That's a hard one. I think I would like to see like a really nice steampunk game, you know? I'm like a big steampunk fan. So, or a sci-fi game. That'd be kind of cool too. If you guys haven't experienced a sci-fi game, it's pretty legit too. This is just off. Okay. Alright, I'm just fixing up these bars here. And the reason why I have these blocks here is because they're marking lights fields that I need. So I'm actually going to be using these as a form of light fields that I will be putting on some of the arcade machines. I'm going to actually have some of these arcade machines actually light up. So I'll have like trims to keep them lighting so they actually have more vibrance in the room. I'll add some seating and tables as well so that it kind of creates a more social atmosphere and so forth. You got no art ideas? I would say, you know, a lot of people really want to see space rooms and they really want to see like underwater world maps. So if you guys want to create something that is like underwater or like space-like, that would be really cool to see in Rec Room. Yeah, I have played Beat Saber like once. I haven't actually played a lot of it, but I did play some of it, and it was fun. I'm not a big fan of repetitive things, so it was kind of a little bit repetitive for me, but I did like it. Yes, there is a robot roaming around on the floor. Mr. Bird made this robot. And and he's on a gizmo right now. So the gizmo is below here. As you can see, it's a rotating gizmo. and it's rotating, and it's connected to some of the gizmos over the chips over here, so that it's not taking up too much space. So it's doing pretty good there, just roaming along. Yep, pretty cool. Yeah, you guys can make your own robots too. It'd be kind of cool to see also a robot boss in Rec Room, if anybody's up for the challenge on that one. A robot boss would be really cool. So what I'm doing is I'm actually bringing the ledge in because it just fit my framework a little bit better here. The bars here don't look that nice yet, but I'm just using them as pretty much as rulers. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete some of these. I was going to keep them, but I don't think I'm going to keep them actually. So, and what I'm going to do instead is grab this. And extend. And then bring these down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these middle bars here. So they look kind of even. And then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to scale this down just so slightly. Go ahead and move that in the proper location. And I'm probably going to make this a different color. Maybe recolor. I'm just going to test out a couple things. I'm not liking that. No, maybe white. Oh, black. I might actually leave it yellow. And I'm going to clone it and see what this looks like. That looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add sphere and then uniform shapes. So it gives a nice height and width. Not really liking that. I might make it just a square instead then. There you go. Yep, that looks pretty good. So I'll probably continue that all through here, moving the trims a little bit in, and then aligning them accordingly. So I'm gonna check my comments real quick. Good, I want to see it. Trackster. Make that robot boss. Maybe. What I dislike about the maker pen? Well, I think that the wire button should be moved. It's not in its proper location. It's really frustrating. I constantly press on it. There's a lot of things I would kind of probably change, but you know, everything has its iterations and a progress through a process that takes some time to develop and understand. So, you know, it's a new thing, so it's not something that has been quite developed, but it is something that it is in the process of progressing in a way that, you know, new forms of the maker pen will come out. And so where the layouts, just like this palette here, and just testing and seeing how people use them will determine of how the maker pen will evolve in the future. So like everything that I might dislike now probably will not be there in the future, or like, you know, what are the problems now will probably be changing in the future of future updates on the maker pen. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's right, guys. Give it your Rec Room best. All right, guys. I'm just gonna call it quits here, and thank you guys for joining. If you guys like the stream, go ahead and cheer the stream. Yeah, gives it a thumbs up. And I will be publishing the stream shortly. I'll be going through it in a little bit to make sure other things are not published. But meanwhile, I hope you guys learned some things about, you know, getting some really good glowing shapes here, using tube objects to create really interesting objects here, because these are all actually made out of tubes. So if you guys haven't experienced with the tubes, you guys really should experience with the tubes. And I hope you guys learned how to manipulate objects and you know, do something really cool with your maps. And I hope you guys just learned something new. I know some of you guys have been here for a while, and a lot of you have watched my streams before, so I know I missed last week's because I was like in a very long meeting. So and we figured out and determined some new things, so that's why I wasn't on last week, but I was on this week. And I might not be on next week either, because I am going to the Seattle office next week. Yeah, thank you, Fox. I'll be in touch with you later. And thank you everyone for joining the stream. I hope you guys all have a good night, and I wish you the best.